Simply adding a higher price service to your menu, running an ad, or offering a discount on that doesn't mean people will buy it. There has to be a system that turns the initial interest into a consultation into belief, and that belief into a clear buying decision. That's the high ticket revenue system we're going to break down today. All right, welcome to training 3 in our revenue system problem series. Today, we're talking about how to turn high ticket offers into actual revenue. A lot of wellness and aesthetic businesses have great high ticket services that could generally transform the patient's confidence, their health, even their quality of life. But those services often underperform because the business is expecting the offer to do way too much by itself. Today, I'll show you why some high ticket offers fail, where the revenue commonly gets lost, and the system you need behind the offer to convert interest into consultations, treatment plans, and sales. Before we go further, think about what happens in your business after someone shows some type of interest. Do they receive a thoughtful response? Do they understand the full outcome? Does someone conduct a real assessment? Does your team present a complete recommendation? Are payment options available? And if the patient says, hey, I need to think about it, does anyone continue educating and following up? Ads can only create attention, but everything that happens after that determines whether the attention actually becomes revenue. So we're going to cover 4 important parts of the system. First, why high ticket services require more than a discount. Second, how the introductory visit should naturally lead to a treatment plan. And third, what belongs in a strong treatment plan presentation. And finally, how to track the entire path from advertising spend to collected revenue. The goal is to give you a system you can evaluate and begin improving immediately with. So why am I into this? Why should you listen to me? I've spent more than 15 years in digital marketing and over 4 years working specifically with aesthetic and wellness businesses. And one pattern I've seen repeatedly is that businesses can generate plenty of interest. Everyone either can or has run ads. There's a million agencies out there that will do it for you, but they still lose revenue because the consultation, the recommendation, the payment path, and the follow-up is not clear. That's why I'm so focused on the entire revenue system. More marketing activity, running more ads doesn't solve a broken path. We need something deliberate that we can measure, improve, and eventually scale. So this training is going to be for owners who want more than a report showing how many leads they generated. Maybe you offer body contouring, medical weight loss, skin transformation, hair restoration, functional wellness, anything like that. You know these services can produce meaningful results, but you aren't selling enough complete programs. You also may be getting leads and consultations, but you're not getting enough revenue, right? Or your team might just feel uncomfortable presenting a larger investment to a client. If that sounds familiar, this is for you. So here's the fundamental problem. High ticket services are frequently promoted as if they were simple, low risk purchases. They're not. A discount might get someone's attention. They might work for a low ticket offer, but a person considering a multi-$1,000 program needs more than a coupon or a discount, right? They need to understand the outcome. They need to believe the recommendation fits them specifically. They need to trust you as a provider and see a realistic way for them to afford it. When that path is unclear in any of the steps, more attention, more ads, more ad spend does not automatically produce more revenue. Okay, here are some of the symptoms that we hear from owners. People book the introductory offer, but they never move forward. Sometimes the staff feels uncomfortable presenting a $2,500, a $5,000, or even larger recommendation. Sometimes we hear that the business is selling isolated sessions instead of complete outcomes, or an expensive device is just sitting there underutilized despite ongoing marketing. And we even know some of these devices offer marketing for you. We still hear this a lot. So these may sound like lead quality problems. A lot of people say, I ran ads, they didn't work. But very often, they're downstream systemic problems disguised as marketing problems. So let's look at the entire high ticket revenue path at a glance so you can see the full path. It starts with an ad, right? And this is what most people run, and they stop there. But an ad just generates interest. It gets someone to raise their hand. That interest leads into some type of consultation and assessment. The patient then receives some type of treatment plan and some type of payment path, and the follow-up help converts anyone who isn't ready immediately. Each step moves the patient closer to a confident decision. Now let's break down what needs to happen along that path. So the ad's job, as we said a few times, is just to generate the right kind of interest, right? It's not designed to close the entire sale. And we see this a lot. People running ads saying, oh, it's not working. But what they're expecting is that the ad does everything for them, including generating interest, closing the sale. It doesn't work that way. An introductory visit, an introductory consultation needs to build belief by helping that patient understand their problem, their desired outcome, and what it will take to get there. If you're not taking this step, you're missing out on a huge part. The treatment plan that's presented then turns that recommendation you just gave in a consultation into a clear path. And then if you have some type of financing or payment options, that can make the investment feel more manageable if necessary. Last, what we also see missed is a structured follow-up. So you need some type of structured follow-up to continue educating patients who need more time, information, or confidence. This can be emails. This can be texts. This can also be automated. If any of those steps are missing, you can lose that opportunity, even when the marketing did its job of gaining that attention. So let's get into some of the common mistakes that we see. So the first mistake is expecting someone to purchase a $5,000 program directly from an advertisement. We've said this a few times. You would not buy a house on Facebook ads. You would not buy a house using Meta ads. You would not buy a car just seeing an ad on IG. These are large, high-ticket purchases. Of course, they're a little bit higher ticket than we're talking here, but the mentality is the same. Now, can it happen occasionally? Yes. There's someone who's just ready to go. They see some type of deal. They already trust you. But that should not be the foundation of your strategy. This does not happen very often. The ad should sell that next logical step. So maybe that step is a consultation or assessment. Maybe it's a scan. Maybe it's even a demo or some type of introductory experience. The first step needs to feel valuable and relatively easy to accept. So then your consultation process can take over. Therefore, you're helping the patient understand the complete path. Okay. The second mistake we see is providing that introductory high-ticket service without transitioning into a larger recommendation. So if someone comes in for a scan, a demo, introductory treatment, or just some type of consultation and simply receives that one thing, you've fulfilled the promotion, but you haven't built the revenue path. So the visit or consultation should include an assessment, some type of education, and personalized recommendations. The patient should leave understanding where they are now, where they want to go, and what you recommend to help get them there. The third mistake we see is presenting the recommendation casually or just verbally, right? Without giving the patient anything clear to review. A strong treatment plan should show the patient's goals, the recommended services, the treatment phases, the expected number of visits, and the overall investment and available payment options if you have them. When the recommendation is visual and organized, it feels more thoughtful and professional. It also makes the decision easier to understand and give your team a consistent framework to follow in case you're not the one presenting it. So we've already established that the front-end offer starts the opportunity, but this is where businesses go wrong. They optimize the offer for the highest number of leads instead of the highest number of qualified treatment plan opportunities. So a cheap offer can attract people who only want a discount. We know that works. That's what a lot of people run. And it does work for lower ticket offers. A strong front-end offer, specifically for high ticket, attracts someone with the right problem, introduces the larger outcome, and prepares them for some type of recommendation. Before launching any high ticket offer, ask yourself this: who should this attract? What bigger result are they interested? And what should they expect when they come in? So the goal isn't simply fill the calendar, it's to start the right conversations. So once someone arrives, the most common mistake is turning the consultation into either a quick price quote or some long explanation about your technology. The conversation needs to begin with the patient, not the service. Ask them, what do they want to change? Why does it matter now? What have they already tried? What would a successful outcome mean to them? So you can understand their definition of done or of success. And what concerns might prevent them from moving forward, so you can kind of start understanding what some of the rebuttals would be before they even get to them. So once you understand this, then you or your team should start explaining the recommendation, right? And then the patient should feel they understand what I want. They have identified, what is getting in the way. And this plan was built specifically for me. That is exactly what creates belief. Now, when we're talking about the treatment plan shouldn't merely list services and prices. Its purpose is to make the decision easier. Ideally, you should present one clear recommended path based on the patient's goals. You can include alternatives, but try not to overwhelm them with 5 packages and then make them design their own treatment. Explain why you recommend the plan, what happens first, what progress should look like, and then what investment or payment options are available. Then ask for a clear next step. If they aren't ready, document why. Was it timing? Was it money? Was it trust? Was it maybe some uncertainty, maybe in the consultation? Your follow-up should address that specific concern. If you just say, hey, let me know if you're interested, that's not a follow-up system. Every undecided treatment should have an owner and a next action. So now let's turn this into a quick audit of your business. Are you selling defined treatment plans built around an outcome or just individual sessions? Does your introductory offer attract the right clients and prepare them for your larger recommendation, specifically with high-ticket services? Can your team confidently conduct the consultation, recommend one clear path, explain the investment, and ask for a decision? If the patient isn't ready, does your team document the objection, assign the follow-up, and continue the conversation, possibly online or offline? Finally, are you tracking plans presented, plans sold, average plan value, and collected revenue? Any of these questions you can't confidently answer may reveal the next part of your system you need to fix. So when this system works, it's not just about getting more leads. You actually create more value from the opportunities that you already have. Your front-end offers attract better treatment plan candidates. Your team now knows what to assess, how to present the recommendation, and what to do when someone isn't ready. Consultations can now become consistent instead of depending on who just happens to conduct them. And if it's you can get better at this, but eventually you might be passing this on to someone and you need to confidently know that they can close at the same rate you can. Most importantly, the numbers tell you where your growth is getting stuck. And then you can see if you need more traffic, a faster response, possibly more bookings, a better show rate, more treatment plans presented, or just a stronger close rate. Growth becomes something you can diagnose and improve. So real quick, let me just show you why most owners don't just need another disconnected campaign or promotional idea. They need the pieces they already have to operate into a single revenue system. That means a front-end offer that attracts the right opportunity, a repeatable consultation framework, a clear visual treatment plan, payment options if necessary, objection-based follow-up, and tracking from the original lead through the collected revenue. Now, you don't necessarily need to build this all at once, right? Start by identifying the weakest handoff, improve it, measure the result, and then move on to the next one. This is exactly how you build a revenue system that you can confidently scale. So there's a lot here that we talked about. If you'd like help identifying the weakest handoff, you can book a recommendation session with me. We'll map the path from your current marketing and front-end offer through the consultation, treatment plan, presentation, payment options, follow-up, and final sale. That will help you separate the marketing problems from the actual back-end revenue problems so you'll know what to fix and whether you're actually ready to scale your paid traffic. You can schedule that session using the link on the slide. You can also go to medspamarketingportal.com and you can click on the recommendation session there. So before you move on, I do want you to answer one question. Where is the weakest handoff in your high ticket revenue system? Most people show interest, but don't book. Maybe they book, but don't show. Maybe they attend, but they never receive a complete treatment plan. Or perhaps plans are being presented, but payment concerns and weak follow-ups prevent them from closing. Don't simply say, we need more leads. Identify the exact transition where the opportunity stops moving forward. This will give you a specific problem your team can actually work on. So the central idea from this training is simple. High ticket revenue is created by the complete system, not by the ad alone. The offer starts the conversation, the consultation builds belief, the treatment plan makes the path clear, payment options reduce friction, follow-up helps people who need more time, and tracking shows you what to improve next. Build that system before assuming you need more leads or need more ad spend. Thanks for watching. In the next training, we're going to look at the other side of the revenue system, how to turn low ticket offers into long-term committed clients.